You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.
And we are back on air.
We're back, kicking it.
But this time we have a special guest with us, Miss Victoria Romero.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
I'm doing pretty good. So, I'm just actually glad to have you here because I know you got a lot of important things going on, a lot of things happening for you. So, for the people that are listening, who is Victoria Romero?
So Victoria Romero is.
Oh, I said it wrong. Oh, let me back up.
No,
now.
just yes. Say, is it Romero or Romero? Romero, but for the Latinos, it's Romero.
Romero.
We rolling R's in here.
We're gonna learn the right way today.
No, so I am not born and raised, but I was raised in LaPorte, Texas. I was born in California, but I was adopted whenever I was younger. About 4 years old, we were taken from my mom. At 8 years old, I was adopted, and I lived in LaPorte all through high school. Immediately after high school, I left because there's that if you stay in LaPorte, you can end up in LaPorte the rest of your life after 2 years of high school. So anyway, I left. And I just tried to start my own path. Going to school, working here and there, and eventually, I just got in the groove of things. I never lived in one specific part of the city. I've always, part of here, part of there, and I'm 28, so I don't have a lot of experience. Like, of course, I don't have any political experience. I don't have a degree. I don't have any of that. So what I do have, though, is heart, integrity, and I've lived in these different parts of the city to where I know and I understand different grievances, and I understand the ins and outs of those areas. That's another question I've been asked before, though. When I decided to file to run for mayor, is like, why not, city council? Why not just a smaller, quote unquote, chair? And I was like, I've lived in all these different parts of the city. I don't consider myself, I wouldn't put myself in just one, district and say I'm right here because I'm so passionate about this. I'm passionate about the entire city. And being that I'm not from a specific part, I know and I understand that the whole city needs help and the whole city needs a new start. So
I heard you say at the beginning that you got took from your parents. And that was at early, so was it like something that happened, or was it like in regret?
So, hey mom, if it was no, I honestly don't know the ins and outs as to why I got adopted. I just know it had to do a lot with my mom. She chose the man. We all had different dads. It was 4 of us that got adopted. My youngest brother, his dad. Something happened to him. I'm not sure, but she chose him over the kids basically, and we had gotten taken away from them.
So you definitely know what's going on in the system because you've been through it yourself to know how the ins and outs of things that's happening.
Yeah, and shout out to Chingo Bling and his mother. They were actually the one foster family that, I don't have a great recollection of a lot of what happened, but I do remember that family because they treated us the best. And shout out to them because they're actually one of my foster families.
Oh,
wow. No, that's so dope. Shout out Chingo Bling.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
That's amazing to have a part of your story. So I was reading up on kind of like your history and things like that. And well, first of all, my first question before I even get into that is, what is the thought process that you had to go through to even decide to run for mayor?
Definitely.
So the thought process was, at first it was just an idea. Not even mayor wasn't the idea. It was more of me thinking of what I could do to help people. One of the things is I helped start a meal prep company. And my whole thing, I've always been in customer service. So I always wanted to be the one to help people figure something out. And even though I never had it all together myself, I wanted to be the positive voice in their head saying that you can do this. So even with the meal prep company, I wanted my company at first to be more mom and pop, to where it's more personable. I get to know the customer and know their needs and wants, right? So with that, I just wanted to. At first, it was going to be like a nonprofit. Maybe I was thinking, okay, how can I help moms? How can I help young girls, even some coming out of sex trafficking situations, stuff like that. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and it just came about like, you can run for mayor, like that, it's, and I was just like, no, that's super far-fetched. I'm like, I'm not a freaking politician, no.
Right.
And so, of course, that, and me, I'm a spiritual person too. I believe in, the universe and energies coming to you. Of course, I believe in God, but, that's one of the things God is the energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like that little blip being instilled in my mind, I was like, that was said for a reason. So I thought about it. I'm like, I actually researched it. I'm like, what does it take to be married? You literally only have to have that address on your ID. Saying that
serious?
To prove that you're a Houstonian. You don't need a degree. You don't need any political experience. You literally just have to be a Houstonian.
That's so crazy.
Mayor 2020.
No, we're good. We're gonna go Romero. We're good. No, that is so crazy that like literally that's all you need to be able to run.
And that's not to downplay anybody because you absolutely do need to be well versed in everything, the ins and outs of the city. But my whole thing is also being a businesswoman. I understand that, and I see the city as a business.
Yeah, it is.
I feel that as a CEO of this business, you don't have to know the ins and outs because even in your regular small business, you're not going to know everything that's
I was just going to say, like, is it really important?
You're going to have like your advisory board and all these other people who are working.
You also need to hire those people that are well versed in that have that integrity and that aren't, down with corruption.
So pretty much it's just, do I trust this person? He feel like he been running an okay race. Let me just go.
Yeah, and that's what it's been, and that's what I've been getting a lot of. Even some of the other supporters of other candidates, newer candidates, obviously not the incumbent, but they were saying like, you didn't even know that there's a normal citizen running, and I was like, I mean, we're all citizens, but
normal citizens.
But yeah, I'm not
That's
backed
crazy.
up. I'm not backed up by any money. I don't have any endorsements like that. I'm literally doing this.
How important that is? Like, you have nothing right now. I already know you're going to start catching more fire as things go.
Seriously.
So, I mean, I'm dealing with what I can now, and I feel like that's kind of God's grace keeping me going because I don't know where it's going to lead to, but I'm just taking everything how it comes, even down to the forums that we've been to. They want you to answer these questionnaires in order to be able to speak at these forums. Some of them, like I said, I'm working by myself, so I don't have a lot of, a team answering these emails for me. I'm having to go through each one and answer them, on my own. So if I'm not getting to them by their deadline, it's like, okay, well, you can't speak. So as soon as they tell me I can't speak, I'm like, well, what can I do? And that's what I do is I drive. Once they tell me what I can do, like if I can just set up a table with my little cards or something, because that's all I have for marketing too, it's just my push cards. I'll just be like, what can I do up there? And they'll be like, you can set up, you can show up, whatever. So if they tell me I can show up, or if I can't, I'm going. Because at the end of the day, I can't just not go because I can't speak. Because I tell the mouth I can speak whenever it's over.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I've been getting a lot of. Is like, why weren't you up there? And I'm like, I'm glad you asked. And then I get to go into my little spiel, my platform and stuff like that. So regardless, it's a blessing in itself. I take and be there to be able to speak to people.
When you get to speak, when you get to these forums and say you haven't been able to speak, but you do get to touch at least people, do you see anybody that says, hey, I want to get behind you, I want to support you, I like the way that you speak about your policy or your approach to how you want to become mayor? Do you get any of that?
Yeah, actually, I've had a few people, push the crowd to give me their card, and they're like, no, we want to help you, like, even if it's like volunteer work, and right now I don't really know which way to go with volunteers because I don't have the cards to like have them go and walk and stuff like that. So right now I'm just telling everybody to get the word out because that's all I can do right now as far as manpower.
Yeah.
Did
you set up like a budget for how you wanted to approach things? Like, did you like sit down and have to like go over your personal finances? Did you sit with someone like to advise you on stuff?
I have sat with somebody to advise me, but it wasn't in depth in that sense. Even down to finances, I was kind of just going off, okay, whatever comes my way, I'm just going to use that. And I did have one donation that was generous, and if it's okay for me to say, it's $500. So I used that, I budgeted those $500 into what am I going to use that towards this campaign, and how am I going to stretch it basically.
Yeah.
To do what I can with it. And so far that's gotten me at least on postcards, meetings with people. So
That's awesome.
With you being like so young compared to the other candidates, do you feel like you kind of have a different view of how things work now since you're on the inside?
Absolutely. You mean like with the
Yeah,
campaign?
with the campaign, everything, as far as being able to actually get the voice across, the voice of the people, for them to actually present things, and actually get things across the right way.
Yeah. Yes and no. No, because I haven't been able to get asked as many of the questions as the candidates have, so they don't really know where I stand and where my views are with certain questions that they have had. But yes, because they're like, oh wait, well, so what does she have to offer? And then of course they're interested. Whenever I'm not sitting up there, I make sure and I make it a point at these forums also to send a note up there to whoever's speaking or whoever's moderating to tell them like, hey, can you make sure that you announce that Victoria Romero is here in the room? And no, she wasn't able to speak, but she's back there ready to answer questions, and I do that every time. And I make sure that that's done, and then whenever they come back to talk to me, I'm ready to answer all their questions. So that's kind of helped only because it points me out, like, oh, she's back there by the way.
So now that you have this platform, and now you're being able to get your point across, like, what are some of the things that you plan to change if you are to leave?
A lot. One of the things that down to the flooding issues, education and transparency, because, you hear all the time, oh, even, the potholes. People aren't aware of the actual geographical structure of Houston and what we're actually built on is rice fields. And they don't understand that you continuing to let these developers just build all over these wetlands that are supposed to be what's soaking up this water or, helping alleviate us from these stresses. Things like that, like basically for me, I would stop building out. I would think more of building up. And there's a plethora of issues that I could speak on right now, but the main changes would be obviously what's going on in City Hall, knocking out some of those contracts, because for one, I'm not tied to anything. I don't want to be tied to anything, and I want to operate solely on transparency and solely on integrity, because I think whoever gets these contracts needs to uphold their part of the bargain, even economically speaking, like make sure that they're doing what's best for our community, our environment, because that's what's going down the fastest, I think.
I was gonna say, as you see a lot of people that when they come into office or they go running for office, they already have so much that they're promising to all these other people. And they're like, once I get elected, and that's a lot of how they get their money. They say, once I get elected, then I'll be able to do this, and I'll be able to enforce this quicker than this and that. But since you are such a blank slate, do you have anything that is like your number one? Because I know I was reading up on your page that you, and this is, I don't know how this is going to go across, but immigration, that is it's one of our biggest topics outside of education and funding and things of that nature. What is that something that you see as on your agenda?
Yeah, definitely. Only because I see it in and out of our, and I say our, there's so much that gets tied to that, and even down to ice raids, people being at work, getting arrested. But another thing about our city also being a sanctuary city, or supposed to be a sanctuary city, we have detention centers here, holding kids, holding adults. And I don't think it's right that just because, there can be other things done to earn the city money. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I feel like the reason we're not a sanctuary city now regarding those detention centers is because, we needed that federal funding. Yeah. And the federal funding, you don't get that unless you abide by church rules. Yeah.
And you come from LaPorte, which is so crazy because a few years ago, we had a family Thanksgiving vacation there. And we actually got to see one of the sanctuary churches. It's like one of the safe churches for people who, if they come across, then they're good there. Do you know, and you said that Houston's supposed to be a sanctuary city. I know I was reading up on the rates within Houston. We have 1.6 immigrants that are here, 77,000 that are refugees, and then we have, but 63% of them are non-documented. But when you think about the economy of Houston and how much like immigrants and non-citizens attribute to our economy, what can be done to make, because it's not adding up. Like we should technically be able to take their money, take their labor, and put it into our economy if we are giving them spaces to become citizens or have rights within our communities.
Yeah, because essentially when you think about it, they say, oh, well, they're not taxpayers. Actually, every living adult is. The only ones who don't pay taxes are children.
Yeah.
So, when they're going out and buying the groceries, supplies, they're putting their dollars into our economy as well. So, I would definitely use a independent committee to break that down and see what can be done. Obviously, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that there's power in numbers and also power in knowledge. So I would use those committees to figure out what needs to be done immediately, because that's not right. And then even when we're talking about pay wages, that needs to coincide right along with it, because they need to not be the new age slaves. They need to be,
you do see that a lot of your non-citizens or your immigrants or your minorities are getting paid cash. Cash. So you can't really technically account for how much they are getting paid. No. They can be getting paid half of what minimum wage is. Do you know what minimum wage is in Houston, Texas? Right. In Texas, that is not fair. Yeah. So I definitely do think that we should definitely be holding people accountable in office. I do agree with that. So yeah.
Do you feel like, of course I'm gonna let devil
do it, please.
Do you feel like honesty and transparency sometimes is too much? Because you can be honest as much as you want to be honest. Just like in relationships, you can be completely right off the bat honest, and it can tear your head off you being so honest. Because everybody in politics, everybody shoot I'm gonna be honest and be transparent, but transparency means complete transparent, of everything. Yeah. Right. I feel like it's too much for us, to be honest. I feel like we should only know what is very serious for us to know, because it could put everybody in chaos. You want to think about certain things.
Don't ask, don't tell, guys. See?
No, but I'm just saying though, it's a lot to it.
I only say that transparency, a complete transparency, needs to be had because there hasn't been complete transparency at all. For one. And for two, I think when you even down relationships, when you let somebody know what they're dealing with, you're giving them a chance and a choice to see if they want to go with it that way or if they want to go a separate way with it. So for our city, I think complete transparency, even coming down to the budget, right? You have the whole thing with the firefighters.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
I went and I talked to the firefighters union communicator, honestly, the whole union. But he handed me a piece of paper that I've never seen before, because I've done my due diligence online and I've looked up what every citizen can see as far as the budget online. He gave me a paper showing me what the department itself has made, and there's no way that they shouldn't be paid what they're asking for, because they are one of the department out of all those that create the most revenue.
I can agree. I can definitely feel like everybody deserves a raise, because we got the money. It's not like we don't have the money.
It's just how it's being dispersed.
Yeah.
That's where the transparency comes in. I feel like if they were transparent in that, then we can know what we're working with and see how it can be done. But with the incumbent saying that there is no money, there's no way we can do this, that's not true.
What do you, with that, being transparent, everybody can go see where the money's going in here, you still gonna have those people that you still can't please, no matter what you do transparent, you go. And that's really the thorn in everybody's side. Because that one person could ruin it for everybody.
But don't you feel like the people who aren't going to be pleased are the people who are used to the lies and the deceit? Okay. I think it's because there's always this uncomfortable position with the unknown, right? Like if you haven't experienced it before, then you're uncomfortable with it. Mm-hmm. But when you have someone new who starts a new way of being a politician, a new way of communicating with citizens, a new way of, that transparency, allowing people to understand what's actually going on, what their dollars are actually going towards.
Is it really possible for everybody to vote and we go like that, a majority?
And that's where we need to make the change because I feel like whenever you're transparent and you get it out there, and I'm not saying just my age gets that out there, but that attention to this, the people who need to fix these problems are our age. Yeah. There's not going to be any change, environmental change, economic change, unless we all know and are aware of what's going on. And I think that with, even if I, win, lose, or draw, I'll get these issues out and I'll get these people understanding what's going on in our city, and maybe that'll make some change, hopefully in the near future with whoever the mayor is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be me.
Hopefully it's going to be me. Yes, I agree. I think you educate it. You would just have to have a little spark of interest. Spark of interest. It makes people want to go get these answers. It makes people want to have the conversation. The fact that we don't have the right, I feel like we have conversations, and we do have conversations that are moving us forward socially, but we're not having conversations that for our generation is moving us forward economically and politically.
We literally have to go back and change everything that's already been.
And we need to. We really need to.
And that's how everybody's kind of running their campaign is like, and I'm hearing it differently in different forms because I see where they know who their audience is, so it changes up every time. But I don't know who else to be other than me and knowing what I know, right? So when I see them kind of saying, oh, well, we're going to change this, we're going to change that, how are we going to do it? And I'm going to say this out loud. Tony Busby keeps giving these, half a questions or answers saying, oh, well, this needs to be changed and this isn't right, the corruption here and there, but how are you going to change it? He keeps answering the questions with, it needs to be changed. I'm the one to do it. How?
Yeah, we want to know exactly what's your first step?
Because I don't have a how. And I tell them straight up, I'll be like, I don't know all the answers, but I know someone out there does. And there's people out there that aren't employed by the city and I know a couple, I've had people reach out to me that work for Homeland Security and have informed me of different things that are going on with the city and its budget. So I know who's not getting their fair share of their opinion being put out there because they don't have the money behind them. They don't have those developers or, the ones that are, putting into that.
I can definitely say, just me, like, being a human, politics, the whole candidacy, everything is not reaching the mass majority because people just don't understand the information they present.
It's starting. And that's what, and I hate saying that, but that's what it's been, and I've learned that in this race because anytime I have a complaint, somebody tells me, oh, well, that's politics. Why does it have to be like that?
Every time.
Why does it have to be that it's a dirty game that we're trying to have to play through? Why is it that it has to be a popularity contest? Even down to the forums, sometimes I heard from Victoria Smith, the other young lady that's running, she tells it all the time in any forum that she's able to speak. She'll say, some of these forums are not even being invited to because we're not the top 5. We're not the faves. So they're looking at us like, well, we don't care what you have to say because you're not, you're not going to bring us attention.
You're not going to bring us dollars.
Yeah,
They want to give you money that's going to regenerate money for them.
Right. And so for us, it's hard for us to tell the people and let them know, like, no, we don't have the money behind us. No, we don't have money for these ads and campaigns. Or, y'all are spending all these people's money and donations on smear campaigns. Why aren't you talking about the issue? Why aren't you talking about how you're going to help us or who's going to come on board to help us? So. I
have yet to hear a candidate, period, anybody. If somebody please explain to me, somebody please tell me that has literally ran for the people. And the reason why I say that is because you're a mayor, you can pretty much, you can't do anything you want, but you can change a few things to make things happen.
City,
If you literally just it's not your decision, it's your decision because you have to go vote. So if you literally ran a vote for every single decision and it's literally the people's decision off the mass majority, if you want to change, you come vote. So maybe change would maybe go towards your side. I think if people actually did that and let everybody vote for every single circumstances that's happening, you literally get what the people want. The city gonna run smooth, you know, problems. You may have a little different. They can't do no choice when it comes to protection with the police. We can't do nothing about that. We just want it,
Yeah.
But I feel like if that was to happen, I feel like that is what would bring the country, even the state, even more together. Because now they realize I have a voice. I can just go vote.
And I've seen that in a couple of the city council meetings. Just to touch on that, people are they're not scared. People go up to state their grievance, and they're like, "Thank you, Mayor. Thank you," and having their head down all the time. "Thank you, Mayor, for taking your time. I know you're very busy man, but it's like, why do you feel like you have to like bow down and say sorry and say thank you and no, tell them you're a citizen. You have something that you want to speak on, and tell them.
People don't know.
No, people look at it, and honestly, and I've heard this in the forums as well. The mayor has too much power right now, right? He technically does not have the power. They have to answer as a collective to make these decisions. It's not all the way up to the mayor. He's not the one that's the bottom line, right? But people treat him as such, and they're like, like basically bowing down, like, no, you know who you're talking to. Like, no, you're the citizen. You're the one who we're serving. It's our privilege, our honor to serve you as a citizen. It's not the other way around.
It's really that across the board, everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I don't think we really function as a democracy. We truly don't. That's why it's no different than if you were to have a king or a queen here. That's
because people stop caring at that point.
They do.
Well, if I don't, and that's why I hear all this people, I don't count. Like, yes, it does.
Yeah.
I mean.
But can you explain to the people how their vote counts?
It does.
Specifically.
Yeah.
No, because like he was saying, some people don't understand
The information.
the information. They don't understand how their part plays like a role in all these decisions. How can we, as citizens, make our grievances heard?
By voting. Like, if you know and you hear and you actually listen to what these candidates are talking about, it's obviously like a whole endless, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but actually listen to what they're saying and see if you even hear any little nick in there that just doesn't feel or sound right, know that you're right. It is what it is. But by voting, I mean, obviously, like, I'm praying that people vote with the true, like, urgency to want the change that they continue, to talk about. And a lot of them, like we said before, it's I'm only voting this way because my parents always voted for him, or I'm only voting this way because we like that guy, he's new, but honestly, it's a lot of actors in here. Yeah. I'll say a couple actors. But I'm just tired of the suits.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the narrative where you just have somebody who's groomed and primed to do this, and it's like they know what to say and how to walk and how to talk and just make it sound good.
And see, that's what
I'm tired of that.
I need somebody to break it down. I need once that candidate be able to break it down for everybody to understand on a small level, they're gonna get everybody.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is going over people's heads. They're like, I don't even know what's going on.
Let me be real. A lot of it has gone over my head as well because I damn near had to ask people to put it in layman's terms for me. Because I'm like, it's not only for me because I need to understand, but I think the crowd needs to understand. Like, what is it exactly that you're asking? What is it that you're saying? Because honestly, that's how the city's set up too. Like, there's all those loopholes and stuff that people are getting around because they don't know what's in between those, fine lines.
Yeah. So being a mother, because I want to get to this. So being a mother, and now we talk so much about women's empowerment and things of that nature. How are you? I know they're so young. How are you?
My daughter, she's 4 years old, and my son, he just made 6 months.
Oh wow! Yeah. So you were like a fresh mom. How are you breaking it down to?
That's big. 6 months, like she's still in. Hey, that's
what I'm saying. Look, he's got a new baby, so he's like,
Congratulations.
But how are you breaking it down, or how are you planning to run with the influence of your children in mind?
I think they're the reason I am running, honestly, because I want to set it up to where, obviously we're not going to change everything on thing, but I want to set them up for success by setting the city up for success. I think even getting down to, HISDs,
yes,
education, right now, that's a huge thing, and that's where everything starts.
Yeah.
That's where all of these issues boil down to is education.
Yeah.
From the start, and with them in mind, of course, I want them to have a better life, better than I've had. But I want kids like me growing up to know that they have a chance to make change too. There's little girls that have come. One specifically, she came up to me. She's like, And she was like, what I do? Like, and to her, she could never understand, like, why, whenever I see kids, any kids, like, I know that they're, especially, you know, kids are huge.
Yeah.
They don't have the best circumstances all the time. And I think just letting them see somebody like me in office, they'll have more of a push to do their best, their absolute best in school.
Yeah.
Do their absolute best as humans, period.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my,
I love that.
yeah.
I think that's really dope. I'm really like excited for you because you're
Definitely.
so fresh. Like you're so like
You just like me. Hey,
I just want change,
We know.
right? We all out here just like we just want change.
That's my whole thing.
But you're so bold to do it. So how can people actually join your campaign? Because you need the support,
Yeah.
right? And you may not have the experience that everyone else has, but you've got the passion, you've got the willingness to learn. And I think that is what's
That's
beautiful
important. Yeah.
because you're willing to learn everything and you have no ties to know nothing. So how can someone, if they're in college or if they're even in high school or is it moms, anybody, how can people help you out, become part of your campaign?
Oh my God. So first of all, vote for me.
Yeah.
Secondly, no. Honestly, just, you know, log on to romeroforhouston.com. We have a volunteer, you know, fill that out. Email us, romeroforhouston@gmail.com. It's not info or anything. But, yeah, romerofrhouston@gmail.com. And just say that you want to volunteer some way, somehow. I will get you in here somewhere. But, I mean, right now, like I said, I don't have a lot of money behind me. I don't have that kind of support. So, I mean, donations help, volunteers help.
How can people donate? Can they go to your website?
Yeah, they can donate on the website.
Okay. And like, what do you? Let's put goals out there. Because I'm a person. I like to put out the energy so I can get it back.
20,000.
Thank you. Okay, let's put some numbers on
They
that.
told me a good number is 20,000. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of campaign. I don't even have a campaign manager. So
Man, we talking
they told me-
20. That's small.
That
She
is-
should be able to double that.
Some of
for
y'all
her
spend
campaign.
that on vacation.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. So 20,000, I was told, would give me a good solid campaign. And of course, I want people that are going to be. I can't get people to stay in there. I have volunteers, but they're not being paid, so they're not. You know. Like
So some of those dollars are going to go towards supporting your team as well,
Yeah.
supporting, giving you materials, getting the information out there. I love it. Give us this process of how voting should work for us. Like the dates, like where you're going to be speaking at if you have any upcoming speaking engagements.
Yes, so I do. I'm supposed to be posting them tomorrow on the website. I'm going to get all that together tonight and tomorrow for the rest of the events because I did catch up on my forum questionnaire. So the next ones I want to, I will be speaking at. Those events will be posted tomorrow night on my website.
Okay, perfect.
What was the other part of the question?
Voting dates. I know we have early voting coming up.
Early voting is October 15th, I believe. Registration to vote ends October 7th. So make sure you register to vote.
Yeah.
October 15th begins the early voting. November 5th is the voting day. And that right there, if we get somebody that's over 51%, then that's when we know who our mayor is. Outside of that, then we go on to the December. I honestly don't know the December. I'm focusing on November 5th. That's why I don't know the December
I'm not
date,
worried
but
about that.
it does roll over to December. No one is decided by then.
I'm excited.
I am too.
Well, thank you, Victoria Romero, for
Romero.
coming out.
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate, like I said, I don't get a chance to really speak anywhere, so this is big for me to be able to sit here and speak with you all.
I enjoyed it. I think it was
Yeah.
definitely great. You
I
gave a
love
lot
your
of great
transparency and honesty
information.
too.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, she honest and transparent. I'll get it everyone.
You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.